Hello everyone, my name is Masterstarman and welcome back for more Let's Play Kirby's Dream Collection. Last time, we finished up Dreamland 3, which was honestly the game I was most worried about, but I was kind of pleasantly surprised, all things considered. And now we're ready to start the final game in this collection, and it just so happens, like Adventure and Superstar, this is another one of my favorites right here. Needless to say, I'm very much excited for this one. Welcome to Kirby 64. Welcome to the old, ancient N64 spinning logo here. I miss that thing, even if it was a very slow little loading screen there. On a faraway distant planet called Ripple Star, the fairies that inhabit this planet live together in peace and harmony. However, one day, a strange darkness began to envelop their planet. Using the last of her strength, the Fairy Queen gives a young fairy girl named Ribbon a crystal, and making a mad dash to escape, Ribbon begins her journey. Unfortunately, a group of dark matter are on the chase. She did her best to escape, but it was no match, and she was attacked, forced to make a crash landing in the land of Popstar. What will happen to our hero? Find out on this pink puffy fairy tale. Welcome to Kirby 64. Dang that dark matter. Well, seems like things are a lot more of a cosmic threat here, so Kirby 64 starts off with some somewhat familiar and yet some fairly new faces here. Now, yeah, this is a game that I've played a lot of times. In fact, I had a 100% save file on this slot as well that I deleted before I started recording this year. I've played this game a lot over the years. It's one of my favorites in the series, and yeah, let's kind of go ahead and get things rolling here. It's going to ask again if we know about Kirby's copy ability here, but I think even if we say yes, it still shows us the tutorial anyway. Oh no, it doesn't actually. Okay. So yeah, by pure coincidence, that little fairy happened to crash on Popstar, and thankfully ran into the galaxy's most entrusted, adorable pink puffball. Welcome to Pink Puffy Fairy Tale. This is Kirby 64. You'd be forgiven if you thought this was Inuyasha, but no, it's not. This is Kirby 64. Our quest to scour the galaxy and find a bunch of Crystal Shards before an evil darkness manages to do so instead. It's also not that deep. This is literally still a Kirby game, and I think one of the most underappreciated Kirby games here. This is maybe not underappreciated. I feel like a lot of people generally like Kirby 64 a lot. So yeah, basically this game has Kirby's kind of traditional copy abilities here. You have, I think it's 7 abilities like in Dreamland 2, but there's a bit of another twist to this game that I kind of didn't really go over with the copy demo there. You can actually combine 2 abilities into 1, and that's where a big bulk of this game's kind of gimmick is. There's no animal buddies to speak of, but instead we can literally just combine any ability we want, basically. And this is a really unique feature. This is easily, I think, one of the coolest things about this game here. I kind of wish the only game I could compare this to is Gunstar Heroes, which is probably a bit niche to reference here, but I kind of wish if I had 2 abilities I could switch to just one of them. Right here we found a Crystal Shard here. There are 3 of them in every level, very much akin to the Heart Stars and the Rainbow Shards and things like that in the past games. And like those, you will need all of them to get the proper best ending of this game here. That was a very pathetic mini-boss. I did not think this ability was gonna just shred that to pieces there, but here we go. And yeah, there's kind of just a lot to go over, but there's, thankfully, not too much to really say in this first level here. And I believe we should be coming up on an ability we'll need here. Yes. Unfortunately, I think you have to inhale the poppy itself and not the bomb, but as you see in a moment here, there is a black rock here. This can only be destroyed by the bomb Kirby or any, like, fusion that happens to have bomb Kirby, so that's a pretty useful thing to have there. And if I time that correctly, I can combine bomb. Yeah, you can combine abilities to get double the... basically double the firepower anyway. Look, it's a Waddle Dee. Don't look behind you, dude. It's a do! This is the only instance of a Waddle Doo in this game here, and he's pretty easy as most first bosses go. Especially if you happen to get the double bomb, he's pretty easy, but yeah, pretty funny that dark matter just suddenly has a presence here on Dreamland. What am I saying? That's not too unheard of here. The little high five and collecting our shard again. And with that, we have a new party member. Waddle Dee joins us. Now, I kind of wish in some ways, that the party members did a little more in this game, but I can understand why it's primarily just a Kirby journey throughout. The ending there, you may have noticed I picked up a card there. That, I don't exactly know off the top of my head how the card system works, but basically, at the end of every level, I try to go for them because there is a bonus, like, I don't know how to describe it, like an enemy catalog you can look at in the bonus, like the options menu, and that's where those kind of get accounted for. So yeah, this level in particular, Stage 2, you will be visiting a lot, because this has every single copy ability in it within, not the first screen, but for the most part, like, within, like, the first 2 screens of this level here. I think you'll have to go into the second screen to get a couple of the abilities, or at least one of them in particular, but every single ability is introduced here in this level here. So, I don't think I wanted this ability, because this ability is really not great. Yeah, okay, no, I'm ditching this thing sooner than I can. But yeah, that's kind of just the nature of this here. We have Spark Kirby. I didn't really say too much about Stone, or I didn't really say too much about any of the abilities. They're all ones we've seen a million times. And here should be the... I said here should be... Yeah, here's the last one here. There's a Chili here, which can give the Ice ability here. And this is probably the funniest ability in the game here, because Ice and Electricity is a fridge. The fridge is interesting. I believe it can damage enemies, just not great at it. But yeah, you turn into a fridge. That's pretty funny there. Anyways, Waddle Dee shows up here and likes to move this giant gondola for us here. I guess that's what you would call this. I really love this fall and autumn aesthetic here. I'm going to be praising the graphics in this game a lot, because this game for an N64 game, like, I know it was late N64, but it still looks really, really, really beautiful, even for that there. There's a shard down there. Kirby cannot fly indefinitely in this game. That is one kind of drawback to him there if he starts to fly too much. he will kind of tire himself out there, and then you can't really fly anymore there, so keep that in mind. And I think there's like a 1-up over here, I think, or yeah, other side, but I was right. But yeah, and for being a 3D game, I feel like there's such a kind of a dynamic art style that you really don't see a whole lot in most Kirby games here. Anyways, you do need to defeat the boss there to get the shard, and check out who it is. This is the young painter girl, Adeline. That's a cute little shard you got there. Unfortunately, it happens to be that there's a demon in your painting. I hate when that happens. And she's gonna attack us again as well. This fight's very reminiscent to the Ado fight from Dreamland 3, and in fact, people like to theorize whether or not she is the same character as Ado. I don't think she is, because I mean, I don't think that's ever really, like, stated otherwise, but yeah, it's one of those things that's kind of theorized. Because this is, like, the second level, this fight's way, way easier than the Ado fight, which was, like, the boss of World 4, I think, in Dreamland. In Dreamland 3. Oh no, she's drawing a dark matter here. I'm getting this much mileage out of the fridge here. Have fun taking pudding, I guess, whatever I hit her with. But yeah, no, I don't believe it's ever stated if... I don't think they're meant to be the same character, they're just borderline the same character, but not quite. Adeline, I think, usually gets more of the representation, though, just because she's kind of a central figure of this game, whereas, like, Dreamland 3 already introduces a number of other characters, like, as the 3 new animal friends, Gooey has a more central role, Ado just happens to be one of the bosses in there, whereas Adeline in this game is kind of here from almost the beginning of the game. So, yeah. And for saving her, she offers to join us on our party. I really love the camaraderie of everyone in this game. I don't know what about it is, but, like, I really would love to just see everyone in this go on, like, one more grand adventure again. And I know Star Allies exists, like, you can literally just kind of recreate the crew from this game in Star Allies, and I think that's really awesome, but, I don't know, I feel like... I hope Adeline comes back for Air Riders. At the time I'm recording this, like, we don't know for sure, but I think she is a very likely character that's likely to come back in that game. Okay, Fridge, I've had my fun in the sun with that, but I'm gonna ditch that for a bit. There is a certain ability I do need in this level here, and it's actually this right here, if I can do this correctly. Which I didn't, but thankfully enemies respawn faster than your average Mega Man game here. Yeah, we actually need the double cutter ability for this level. I don't know if there's any other cutter variants that can get this either, but we will need this eventually. And yeah, let's just take a stroll through the castle. And this is where I think we get some really cool, like, just dynamic looking, like, areas in general. I love the way this game looks for, like, the N64. It just has this, like, really charming aesthetic throughout that you don't really see a lot in, like, I don't want to say you don't see a lot in games of this era, but there's something about this one that just, like, I don't know, it's just something really special about Kirby 64, the way it looks and whatnot. And I didn't really initially grow up with this game too much either. I rented it, like, once, And, of course, this can't pick up items. Why would it be able to? I rented this game once when I was younger, and I liked it, but I wasn't any good at it, and also, granted, there was a already complete save file, and I was just trying to play random levels, including, like, the final boss and other fun feels like that. Is there a one-up over here? No, just a sandwich. I don't need a sandwich. This room here is where you actually need double cutter, so I just gotta be able to break that block there. Regular cutter I don't think can get that, but the double one definitely can. I'm sure there's probably some other cutter that can get that. Maybe cutter and stone I think probably could, but yeah. If you see Adeline on a level, she'll usually give you health, or if you're already full on health, she'll give you a 1-up, which is very nice. And bit of a secret here. Just gotta fly there, and there's a Crystal Shard there. And I usually like to say... not there. I usually like to say nuts to this room here and just fly above it, because why not? Very, very cool, like, scrolling room. I know we've seen stuff like this in other games, maybe not other Kirby games, but, like, I know, Mega Man X5 had a room like this, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that came before this did, if I remember right. And that's it for this level here. And, of course, it wouldn't so happen to be a Kirby game where the king wouldn't be here either. And he's being kind of a butt about it, but... it also wouldn't be a Kirby game, especially a Dark Matter game where he wouldn't get possessed by Dark Matter. So, yeah, we got Dedede again. He's pretty easy, all things considered. I mean... helps you have a really powerful ability here as well, but... yeah, and then this phase here is kind of similar to his fight from Dreamland 3 where he has the Pac-Man mouth, but he goes down in only a few hits. He's quite an easy boss here, all things considered. They definitely wanted to take some of the Dreamland 2 boss, or Dreamland 3 bosses and kind of simplify them. That is a great face you got there, dude. Are you okay? Looks like dead there. Oh, that's great. What do you think, King? No, I'm not going. Oh, okay, I'll do it. So yeah, this is the squad of the game here. Kirby, King Dedede, strangely, Waddle Dee, and Adeline and Ribbon. Together, 2 boys, 2 girls, and a young cute thing try and wander the galaxy looking for Crystal Shards to stop an evil darkness. I wonder what anime that sounds like. Okay, well, we got a boss fight here, and... of course, it's Wispy Woods again, but at least it's a bit of a different Wispy Woods fight here, because, you know, we're in the 3rd dimension now. We gotta live like we're in 3D here. Okay, I know it's a 2.5D adventure, but still, we're in the different realm of possibilities here. All the bosses in this game have 2 phases, so... yeah, you'll want to kind of keep that in mind here. Wispy's pretty easy, all things considered. He'll spit apples and then throw the spikes out there, basically. That's pretty much it for this fight here, all things considered. There's not too much to say about it otherwise. Really good boss theme here, too. This whole game has such a great soundtrack in general, though. And, of course, I have to go one more cycle here. But when we defeat Wispy there, Wispy drops a rather big-looking Crystal Shard. Not really too much distinction here with the big ones and the small ones. I think you'll never see a big one in a level or anything like that. There's just 3 in every level, and it just so happens that the bosses give a bigger one there. But the big one happens to show us the way to the next world. And with that, our adventure will continue next time. Thanks everyone for watching this part of Kirby 64. I've been Masterstarman, and I'll see you guys next time for Rockstar. If you like this one, sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment, and I'll see you guys for that then. I think we'll probably do a world of video, I think. That sounds probably pretty reasonable. I'll see you guys for that then. Have yourselves a great day, and peace out.